General Hospital spoilers for the next week, July 20 to 24. The man who is coming back to town is not the loyal, predictable soldier we remember from years past. The severe trauma, the brutal isolation, and the sheer terror of his time away in captivity have fundamentally altered his psychological DNA. Instead of heading to his former boss or his blonde best friend, Jason slips quietly into the shadows, evading all the security cameras, and makes a beeline for the one person nobody would ever expect. Britt. Let us talk about this jaw-dropping twist for a moment, because it is absolutely brilliant. Britt has been dealing with her own massive legal troubles, sitting behind bars at the police station, throwing violent fits, and feeling completely abandoned by the world. She just found out her terrible medical diagnosis was a complete lie, leaving her mind spinning. And then, out of the dark, Jason appears. He does not come with soft apologies for his long absence or sweet words of comfort. He comes bearing a long-buried secret that could literally burn their entire world to the ground. Jason hands Britt a heavily encrypted hard drive, stolen directly from a highly classified underground mercenary base. This drive contains a horrifying, detailed surveillance list of individuals who have been tracked, manipulated, and targeted for years. And the name sitting right at the very top of that terrifying kill list? Sonny, if you ask me, this is a masterclass in daytime suspense. Britt is absolutely terrified. She looks at this glowing screen and realizes that by simply holding this drive in her hands, she has just signed her own death warrant. But instead of pushing Jason away, screaming for the guards, or blaming him for bringing this immense danger to her doorstep, she makes a choice that will define her legacy forever. Britt decides to help Jason protect this deadly secret. They both understand that this alliance makes them the ultimate targets for whoever compiled that list, but the intense chemistry and the unspoken bond of shared trauma between them is undeniable. There are two broken souls standing against a massive, invisible enemy. But that's not even the craziest part. While Jason and Britt are hiding in the shadows plotting their next move, Sonny is putting on the absolute performance of a lifetime out in the open. For weeks now, we have watched Sonny supposedly lose his mind over the budding romance between Carly and Valentin. We have seen him summon his tech experts, throw massive tantrums, and act like a jealous, possessive ex-husband who simply cannot let go of the past. But ladies, I am thrilled to tell you that we have been completely played. Sonny's not acting out of petty jealousy. He is acting out of pure, calculated, cold-blooded survival. Sonny has already realized that someone lurking in the shadows is watching his every single move, investigating his criminal empire, and preparing to strike him down. So, what does a seasoned veteran mob boss do when he knows the federal authorities or a rogue shadow organization are breathing right down his neck? He creates a spectacular, chaotic distraction. Sonny is intentionally orchestrating this entire romantic sabotage narrative. He wants the invisible watchers to think he is distracted, petty, and hyper-focused on destroying Carly and Valentin's happiness. He is actively using his own well-documented history of possessiveness as a brilliant smokescreen to hide a massive underground deal that is about to take place right under everyone's noses. Sonny is entirely willing to let Carly hate his guts, willing to look like an absolute fool in front of his peers, just to buy himself enough precious time to outmaneuver his unseen enemies. It is a brilliant, ruthless move that proves Sonny is still the undisputed king of the chessboard. But that's not even the craziest part. Over in another wealthy corner of town, we have Willow. Oh, Willow. For months and months, she has been playing the saintly, suffering victim, trapped by the blackmail and the paralyzing fear of her darkest secrets being exposed to the public. We all thought she would continue to cower in fear, begging for help from anyone who would listen while trying to maintain her pristine image. But next week, the good girl act is officially and permanently over. Willow undergoes a psychological transformation that is nothing short of a bombshell. Remembering the trauma of her past, she realizes that relying on others to clean up her massive messes is a losing game. So, she takes matters into her own hands and does the absolute unthinkable. Willow secretly reaches out to Anna. Yes, you heard me right, ladies. She bypasses her powerful family, bypasses her husband, and goes straight to the former super spy with a shocking proposition. Willow offers to hand over a massive cache of evidence. She has been secretly hoarding evidence that deeply incriminates some of the most powerful and dangerous people in town in exchange for absolute, ironclad legal immunity. Anna, who is currently dealing with her own severe mental health struggles and terrifying hallucinations of past villains, is desperate enough for a major career win that she actually takes the deal. Willow starts feeding Anna the classified documents, the hidden recordings, and the untraceable financial trails. However, Willow is not completely foolish. She intentionally holds back one single devastating secret, a secret so toxic, so radioactive, that if it were ever to see the light of day, it would permanently destroy multiple legacy families in an instant. Willow is no longer a pawn on the board. She is holding the executioner's axe. But that's not even the craziest part. Now, let us pivot to the younger generation, because what Trina and Kai uncover is going to give you absolute chills down your spine. We all thought they were just focused on Drew and his miraculous, sudden physical recovery. We thought their storyline was going to be a simple, straightforward rescue mission to protect him. We were so incredibly wrong. While investigating some strange, unexplained occurrences around the hospital corridors, Trina and Kai stumble upon a hidden, heavily sealed off sub-basement located deep beneath the hospital. This is not just a forgotten storage closet, guys. This is an abandoned, sterile, terrifying laboratory that was once used for highly illegal, unauthorized medical experiments decades ago. The atmosphere down there is completely suffocating. Thick layers of dust cover ancient, rusted medical equipment, and the freezing air is thick with the smell of strong antiseptic and decay. As Trina and Kai nervously navigate this creepy, labyrinth-like underground bunker, they find a heavily locked observation room with reinforced glass. And inside that dark room, a prisoner, a witness who has been missing for years, locked away in the pitch black, kept alive for reasons we cannot even begin to fathom. Ladies, brace yourselves, because the person sitting in that room is none other than Sam. Yes, Sam! The fierce woman we all mourned, the woman we truly thought was gone forever, is sitting there alive. But this jaw-dropping revelation brings up 1,000 terrifying questions. Who in the world has been keeping Sam down there all this time? Who has been secretly feeding her, sedating her, and making sure she never saw the light of day? Why was she kept alive when everyone else in town thought she was dead and buried? Sam holds the ultimate key to a massive conspiracy that has been buried beneath the hospital's foundation for years. Her mind is undoubtedly fragile right now, her memories completely shattered by the trauma, but the mere fact that she is breathing changes the entire landscape of the show. The pure, unadulterated shock on Trina's face when she realizes exactly who is sitting in that chair is going to be an award-winning moment. But that's not even the craziest part. As if the miraculous, terrifying return of Sam was not enough to send our blood pressure through the roof, we have two more shocking arrivals that are going to throw a massive wrench into everyone's carefully laid plans. Scout and Serena are back in town. Now, you might think they are just here for a sweet, emotional family reunion, maybe to shed some tears and hug their relatives at the family mansion. Think again. These two young women are not here to play nice. They have returned because they have accidentally stumbled upon crucial physical clues related to a massive, unsolved cold case. Scout and Serena are unknowingly holding the final puzzle pieces that veteran characters have been desperately searching for over the past decade. Their sudden, unexpected arrival forces every single major player in town to completely abandon their current strategies and scramble in a desperate panic to get to these girls first. It is a terrifying race against the clock, and the stakes have literally never been higher for anyone involved. Meanwhile, Carly is slowly but surely losing her grip on reality. The intense stress, the recent kidnappings, the constant betrayals from people she trusted, it is all finally taking a severe, visible toll on her psyche. While pacing in her kitchen, Carly receives a chilling, anonymous text message that completely shatters her remaining trust in humanity. The message contains undeniable, photographic proof that someone has been intentionally manipulating every single relationship in town. Every major fight, every bitter breakup, every tragic accident, it was all orchestrated by a single, unseen puppet master, pulling the strings from the dark. Carly begins to look at everyone around her with deep, terrifying suspicion. She realizes she cannot even trust Valentine, the man she just risked absolutely everything to be with. She starts seeing threatening shadows in every corner, realizing that she and her family are nothing more than pawns in a sick, twisted psychological game. The paranoia is eating her alive. and she is ready to lash out at anyone who looks at her the wrong way. And this brings us to the absolute peak climax of the week, the jaw-dropping moment that is going to leave you screaming at your television screens. If you thought this week was going to end with a standard police arrest, a mob shootout, or a tearful hospital bedside confession, you are gravely mistaken. The writers are completely throwing out the daytime rulebook for this one, and we are entirely here for it. Picture this incredible scene. It is a massive, incredibly crowded gala event. Everyone who is anyone in town is dressed to the nines in their finest gowns and tuxedos, sipping expensive champagne, completely unaware of the impending doom hanging right over their heads. Sonny is there, playing his part and schmoozing with the elite. Carly is there, her eyes darting around the room in pure paranoia, trusting absolutely no one. Anna is standing by the grand doors on high alert, and Willow is nervously clutching her designer purse, hiding the details of her secret immunity deal. Suddenly, without any warning whatsoever, the massive crystal chandeliers in the ballroom cut out completely. The live orchestra music stops dead. The entire room plunges into a terrifying, suffocating darkness. When the massive digital screens behind the main stage finally flicker to life, it is not a sweet tribute video or a standard charity presentation. It is a highly classified, heavily redacted video broadcast. A distorted, deeply synthesized voice echoes through the silent, terrified ballroom, bouncing off the walls. The voice begins to publicly list the darkest sins, the deepest secrets, and the hidden, unforgivable crimes of the very people standing in that room. The broadcast reveals that this mysterious puppet master has been pulling the strings for years, orchestrating the pain, the profound loss, and the suffering of the legacy families purely for their own twisted amusement. The camera slowly pans across the absolutely terrified faces of our favorite characters. Sonny realizes his brilliant smokescreen was entirely useless against this enemy. Jason, watching the entire broadcast from a hidden vantage point with Britt by his side, realizes his encrypted hard drive is only a tiny fraction of the horrifying truth. Carly looks like she is about to physically collapse from the shock, and Anna realizes her ironclad immunity deal with Willow might be completely and utterly worthless in the face of this massive new threat. The terrifying video ends with a chilling, blood-curdling countdown clock appearing on the screen, promising that the true punishment is about to begin. The identity of this sinister mastermind remains hidden in the shadows, leaving us with a million burning questions. Who is orchestrating this absolute nightmare? What do they truly want from these families? And who will be the first to fall when that countdown finally reaches zero? You will have to tune in next week to find out, because the real war has only just begun.